Good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you may be, or good evening, or good night. This is Jen at JensArtyInclinations, a place to create, share, and play. Welcome to day 4 of DEPHEMEREMBER. This is hosted by 49 Dragonflies and Luise Heinzl, and today's prompt, number or sentiment and ticket, and the surprise animal is bee. Alrighty, let's get stuck in. So, as you saw at the front, this is my idea today, that a little hand is going to hold a little ticket that I'm going to make up. So, first thing, decorate the back. I decided that I would use a little bit of script because that's always such a nice stamp just to put in the background. I think it just, knocks back the white. It gives it a little bit of a vintage look. It gives it a little bit of texture, just fun. Anywho, so as you can see, I just did it with a really, really light stamp. And I thought, that's a lovely light colour. So let me actually stamp this little sentiment. And of course, couldn't see it. So then I stamped over it. I like the ones on the side, so friend and time, but that's my little sentiment. Anyhow, what I did was I decided I'd stamp it with a darker colour and I popped it onto a coffee-dyed page, ripped around it, and then it worked much, much better. So put a little bit of a vellum sticker in the background because, the bee's got to have something to get its pollen from, hasn't it? So he can now just go around the back and get his pollen, just snipping off the edge because it went over the edge there. And then my little coffee-dyed piece right in there. So that suits it really well. And what was the sentiment? Friendship is shelter from life's little storms. I think that's such a sweet little sentiment. So, it's got the hand, it's all holding us together. Friendship, certainly is what holds this world together, I think. A lot of things are, won and lost on friendships, aren't they? So there you go. That's the back of the ticket. All done. Now, this is what I've decided for the front. So mucking about with the bee. But I needed a little pop of colour behind it just because it was melding too much into the background, and I'd tried a few other things, but that was what I ended up settling on. So I had this little ticket sticker, which had a little bee on it, so that goes on the side. It was really fun doing this one. I really love, bees and dragonflies and all of those little pretties that are out and about in the world. So there's my pop of colour and it's got a little bit of shine in it. So I was hoping that sort of gave it a little bit of show through. This is my baking paper that I keep talking about, my unbleached baking paper. What am I going to do when I finish that roll? I'll have to buy another one. So yeah, just kitchen paper. I love it. It's such a cool colour. Very much like a brown paper bag, but just with that little bit more transparency, really cute. So popping that down and the glue stick glued it down beautifully. Now I'm just using my fabric glue here just to pop my little bit of netting on. So there's my cheesecloth. In it goes. My coffee dyed cheesecloth, it was all pristine and white. Can't have that. Not in Jen's diaries. Then I do my bee and the glue stick definitely was the easiest way to do him. And I added a little bit of fabric glue over the top just to give it that little bit of extra hold. It helps, sometimes two glues together, they help each other. And this is all about helping hands because it's got the hand holding things together. How many other puns can I think of? All right, down goes the bee and he gets all nestled into his little home there. So it's like a little woodland spot for him in that little place there. Pressing down just to make sure he sits down nicely. Now, I didn't feel it was quite finished, so I decided that I needed to add numbers because I didn't have numbers. I had a sentiment, but I didn't have numbers. So I know it said or, but let's do an and. I love popping numbers down. And that was a number that I just put on a book page. So, looks all special and cute. And then there we go, we nestle in. Now, I forgot to film the little bit where I just stuck the hand down, but basically I stuck the fingers down that aren't holding the card and left the other ones free. And I glued it into the back of the pocket just with a glue stick. Now here, when you're tearing a tiny little piece off, which is what I'm doing here, hold the big bit and put the smaller piece under the ruler, because that will make it much, much, much easier when you're tearing it. So I liked the look of that. It just looked like a little bit of a cluster on the edge of the page. Here's one of my handmade stamps, or hand-carved stamps, I should say. And I just decided that I would pop that. I kept on stamping over that little bit and I couldn't work it out. And then I added another little sentiment in there, sunshine and shadows. And, you know, that's what friendships get us through, isn't it? Sunshine and shadows. And they're full of all of that. So then I had these little vellum tickets and I popped them around the edge to nestle the pocket in. Now, look, I may do something on the right, I may not. And the way that I did the back of this page is I just got inks and sprays and things, and I put down tickets that, you know, the backing off some tickets I'd peeled off, and I sprayed over them. So it's actually got the relief print of the tickets in the background. So that's all that is. It was nice and easy. Sticking down these vellum tickets, and yeah, they worked with just a glue stick, so I was quite happy with that. I'm just pressing them down because I thought if I just put, you know, a touch of weight on, I didn't quite have a clip handy that was big enough for those to hold it. So yeah, these are really cute. I love that there's the little show through in them, which is really, really sweet, because you kind of get all the little patterns and you get the textures and the layers and you see the whole story. So yeah, I don't know. I get excited by small things like that. Okay, so now I'm just sticking it down and I'm almost finished. I did end up adding a little final touch to the ticket, but that's the little pocket layout for the page that's holding the ticket. And I almost did the hand as something that you could actually pull out of the pocket so that you could lift it as another little piece of ephemera. Yeah, but I didn't. But you could. And the hand, by the way, is one that I printed off Unsplash. So that's one of those free photo websites. And I like them because they've got an app as well. So then I can just look through for something if I'm looking for a particular piece. Now here I'm showing you that you can actually also just still slip another thing in the pocket in front of the hand. And then I went, oh, I like that piece. So then I made it into another piece of ephemera just to put in front of it. Just inked around the edges, popped a butterfly on the top, and voila, that was done. Okay, so here I am a bit new to embossing. You know, I'm used to the old embossing where you did it with clear only and you put a stamp down, then you put some clear powder over it and you held it over a toaster for the heat, and that was how we embossed. And so, yeah, all these beautiful embossing powders and so forth that you can get nowadays. Oh, I'm just having so much fun. So I'm learning, and as you can see, I'm also, you know, learning that I should have done this before, but I did manage to get it around the edge. But I love that little touch of just adding the copper edge around the ticket. It really finished it for me. So I don't know, I may be embossing everything now forevermore. We'll see. So yeah, just a normal embossing ink pad, and it was copper kettle was the colour. I think it was Crafter's Choice. So there you go. There is my little handheld ticket. Handmade handheld ticket. My little bee, and you can just see the glimmer of the copper edge, and there's the back of it. I actually had a little serrated bit on the edge there. I have a trimmer that you can have a little perforation trim as well, so it's a proper little ticket, and away he goes. There we go, DEPHEMEREMBER for another day. Might see you tomorrow, might do a bunch together and you get a video all in one in a few days. We'll see. I hope you enjoyed. See you soon. Love it if you could leave me a comment below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed what you saw today. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you next time. And in the meantime, keep creating. Enjoy.